Hey, hey, hey. How are y'all today? As you always know, we're here for another afternoon worship service, and I'm so excited about the word that will be released today. I'm here to bring you welcome before worship from the ministry, Remnant Mentality Ministries, under the leadership of Pastor Angela Hendricks. My name is Taywanika McCoy, and as always, I'm here to lead you into worship. Um, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, I pray that you allow God to move upon you today. Today, we're just going to do a simple melody, giving ourselves to God, and then asking God to give Himself to us. So I pray that you will join me. Amen. Thank you, God. Here I am, and here I stand. Lord, my life is in your hands. Lord, I'm longing to see your desire revealed in me. Let's do that again. Come on. Here I am, and here I stand. Lord, my life is in your hands. Lord, I'm longing to see your desire revealed in me. Come on, I know y'all know it. I give myself away. Yes, God. Oh, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so you, God, can use me. Take my heart and take my life as a living sacrifice. All my dreams and all my plans, Lord, my life is in your hands. Give myself away so you can use me, God, yeah. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Yeah, yeah. I give myself away so you can use me. Listen. My life is not my own. To you I belong. I give myself to you. Woo. My life is not my I give myself to you. Yes. Oh, my life is not my own. Yes, God. To you I belong. I give myself to you. Come on, one more time. Make it personal right there. Oh, my life is not my own. To you I belong. I give myself to you. So give me you. God, everything else can wait. Give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Yes, God. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Give me you. 'Cause everything else can wait. God, give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Oh, Lord, give me you. 'Cause it's me, your Lord. I'm on my knees, crying out to you. Yeah, 'cause it's me, oh Lord. I'm on my knees, so give me you. Yeah, give me you. And here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God, 'cause you're altogether lovely. You're altogether worthy. Altogether wonderful to me. Yes, here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. And here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. So give me.
Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome to Remnant Mentality Ministries. My name is Pastor Angela Hendricks, and I am the senior leader here at Remnant Mentality Ministries. So, like I said, welcome. Today is Sunday. Welcome, everyone. Y'all come on in, say hello. Come on, let's get that out the way. Say hello, everybody. Hello. If y'all can see Hey there, Trees. How you doing? As y'all can see by the title, we're talking about getting into some focus now. All right, we gotta focus on some things. I don't know how many people have found themselves getting into a place where just when things are lining up, hey there, Renee, how you doing? Just when things are lining up, you start to like get things in a row and you start to say, oh, okay, hello there, Prophetess Anastasia, getting things in a row. And as they start to get in a row, you have that oh no moment, like, oh no. You know, it's that time. Hey there, Mr. Meyer. It's that time when you're on your way somewhere. Hey, Stephanie, you're on your way somewhere. You can really, really use the extra time because you done left the house late anyway. And traffic is backed up and you really going. And then all of a sudden, stuff starts to happen with your car. Oh man, it's that time when you are really focused on what it is you're supposed to be doing. Look, I got this. I got to be focused. I've got to do what I've got to do. And you really want to get this thing done. But all of a sudden, something happens to distract you. Hey there, Red. How you doing? Y'all, this is where we find ourselves all the time. We are focused on the assignment that God has given us. And even though we're focused on the assignment that God has given us, somehow, some way, something pops up. A distraction. And I read that if you want to get somebody off the path, give them another dream. So I'm talking about those people that come or those things that come and give you another idea when you're supposed to be focused on this one. You're supposed to be carrying out this one and they get you focused on something else. And then you get distracted on what you're supposed to be doing. And now you're over here. I'm talking about those things that pop up like sickness in our bodies. Now we don't focus. We focus, right? God, you got me doing this right here. I'm focused. And then bam, something in my body. So now I'm focused on that. I'm doing well. I'm focused on everything. And then all of a sudden you get that phone call from that male or female that you were like, whoo, yeah, that's the one. And now you focus. Your focus is shifted. Anytime we decide that we have made up our minds and we're going to do for God, somehow, some way, there are distractions that come. You can tell where you are in your process by how the distraction is affecting you, how heavy the distraction is, how bold and robust the distraction is, because it comes and it wants to take you completely off game. All right, completely off game. And so that's where we are today when we're looking at this, because we're going to be looking at Nehemiah. All right, Nehemiah, classic story of Nehemiah. But I just want to get us into perspective of what it is that we are put in this earth to do. There's some things that we are put in this earth to do. There is a planned purpose for each and every last single one of us. Always a planned purpose. God does not put us here for no reason. There's purpose for us. All right. And we're going to read over here in Ecclesiastes. All right. I'm going to start right there in Ecclesiastes, because when we start in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, all right, we're going to have seasons in our life. All right. We are going to have seasons of ups and downs, sides and turns and all that kind of stuff, twists and turns. Y'all, if you don't mind, go ahead and share this message. It doesn't cost a thing. Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and hit the like button. Get some hearts, wherever you are, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and write a comment just to say hello or whatever the case may be. All right. So nevertheless, we are put in this earth for purpose. All right. Hello there, Vanessa. We're put in this earth for purpose. The purpose that God has put us here for, that's the path that we're on. We're on that path to try to see what this purpose is. God, I don't know exactly what my purpose is, but I'm going to get on the path that is you, prescribed by you. If I can just get the mandates of what you have in your word down, if I can get that, that's going to sit and send me on my path, right? Because everybody is born with a purpose. Every single person is born with purpose. There's nobody that's born by accident. No matter what your parents try to tell you, your grandparents or whoever, you were not an accident. There are no accidents with God. Whatever he has purposed in this earth to happen, birthed the people. He's birthed in this earth. They were birthed for purpose. And I know y'all thinking, well, everybody can't be birthed for purpose, because there's some people who they might not ever leave a wheelchair, or they might not ever leave their beds, or they might not ever leave their mother's womb. Everything and everybody is purposed. Got that? Everything and everybody is purposed. No matter how high the time is or how low the time is, it's all purposed. God will get the glory out of thank you, Chris. That's my cousin, y'all. But God will get the glory out of any and everything, out of our pain, out of our happiness, out of the dancing, out of the mourning. God will get glory out of it. There's something that God wants to do in us. And there's a process, because between the highs and the lows, what's in between that we do is what's going to make all the difference. All right. So when we look at Ecclesiastes, everybody always stops at that first verse. We're just going to just read through it, because what is happening here is that he's giving them an extreme and a high, like an extreme thing, and then a not so extreme thing, and a not so extreme thing, and an extreme thing, because he's wanting to tell you there's stuff that's in between this. No matter what the circumstance is, whether you're happy or sad, there are things on that between those two things that you got to live out, that you have to walk out in between the two. So I think that we always tend to look at the beginning and the end, the former and the latter, rather than just looking at what's in between, because what's in between is so important. What we do in between is going to determine how we fight the overall war. And so as we read through here, because I'm just going to read through it, all right? We're not going to concentrate on these things, but I want you to have this in your hearing, because there's a season and a time for everything. We just have to make sure that when we find ourselves in these seasons, that we recognize them and we still yet give God glory. So as we read here, Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1, to everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Y'all see where this is going, right? He's giving you two perspectives on each thing, and they're high and low. All right. So we dance in 1 minute, mourn in the next. You see what I'm saying? So he's just giving you the perspectives here. Verse 5 says, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embrace, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Oh gosh, what profit? I'm just going to continue these two. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised. Look, what does it profit for you to work so hard? What profit do you have to work so hard is what he's asking. What profit is it for you to work so hard? I mean, all these things that you're going through, why? Why even bother? Why do you keep on pushing forward? Why do you continue to do this thing? Why do you continue to live, basically? What's your purpose for living? Because if you don't have a purpose for living, what is your purpose for being right now? Think about it. I'll give you a minute. What's your purpose for being right now? God has purpose for you. If you have breath in your body right at this moment, there's still purpose for you, right? If there's still purpose for you, I need us to look at this thing, all right? So where are we? Are we at the low end or are we at the high end? We need to look and see where we are. If we're not at the low end or the high end right now, we're not suffering through something and we're not just overly rejoicing because things are so great. We're in the middle. So even in this time right here, all right, there is a time. God has purposed a time for us to be born and a time for us to die, right? And as these things have purpose because of sin, because these things are purpose to die, where are we at in this process? We can say where we are right now in this process of the year because we're still in the first quarter of this year. The year started out and we was like, yes, this year started and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Oh, this is going to be the year that I do this, that, and the third. We ain't wrote nothing down. Some of us that we did write something down, we ain't looked back at it at all to see what we need to do next and what's next and what's next. We're in the first quarter. Any game that you've ever watched, if y'all watch sports at all, the first quarter is what dictates the pace of the game. how you got to work harder or you got to work smarter. But no matter what, the first quarter is going to depict the pace of this process. So here we are, we're getting ready to go into the last month of the first quarter. What have you done for this year that you set out to do for this year? What have you done? The first quarter is almost over. Then you go in the second quarter. And then in regular games, they have a halftime, right? We don't get a halftime. The halftime is the in-between time that we have when we're trying to deal with the highs and the lows. That's when we get that, all right? That small place that we have. And so when we're looking at this, we want to sit here and we want to say, I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. Okay, we want to sit here and we want to say, oh, well, I think I got some things done. I think I'm doing very well. But is it looking like what you have purposed it to be from the very beginning? Because this is what I'm trying to get us to understand. There's a time for everything. And now it's time for us to focus. Focus on the gates. And we'll get to the gates in just a moment. But it's time for us to focus. All right? We're already going to the end of the first quarter of the year. If we just took it as that, just for this year, if we just took it for this year, what have you done towards your goal that you set for this year? What have you done? What have you done? Let's think about it. What have you done to? Oh well, I'm completing some stuff. I didn't do this, but I'm going to. What are you doing to get to that? There has to be some planning that goes along with this. There has to be planning, right? It has to be planning. And so that's where we find ourselves without the plan. We have the big, bright picture without the plan. Last week, we were talking about how there would be distractions that came. And nevertheless, we had to set our face as a flint, right? We had to set our face as a flint. Look, distractions are still coming. But will you continue in what it is that you were set out to do? All right? So let's look at this because we're going over to Nehemiah now. Let's go on over to Nehemiah. And as we go over to Nehemiah, we're going to see some things about Nehemiah. So Nehemiah Chapter 6, and we're starting at verse 1. Now look, Nehemiah got the order that he could go and rebuild the wall because he had got some bad news from the people in Jerusalem saying, he was asking about how the progress was going. He was like, oh, it was bad. It's just all bad. We ain't doing nothing right now because it's just all bad. And so he was depressed. The king eventually gave him, he was a cupbearer to the king. The king eventually gave him permission to go and rebuild the walls around Jerusalem. As he got that advantage to go and do that, there came opposition. So now we on our way, right? We're on our way. We're finally getting on the path to doing what God has said for us to do. There are going to be things that pop up because the first things that popped up with Nehemiah was that, guess what? The people from the outside, the people were like, hey, you want some help? You want us to, no, we got it. And then there was opposition that came from the outside trying to demand them to stop building. So opposition from the outside is going to come. All right. Opposition from the outside came. He dealt with the opposition on the outside and there was peace. Then as he got that settled, now there was opposition from the inside. Now it's one thing to have opposition on the outside, because on the outside, you can easily tell them whatever, and keep it moving. So that was easy. That was the easy part. Now there's opposition on the inside. These are the people that are close. Remember, we talked about the ones that are close to you. Now there's going to be opposition from the inside. Now this opposition that coming from the inside was big because they thought, we gonna make him be like all the rest of the governors and blah 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 blah, and he's just like the rest of them, and he wasn't. He had to show them that he wasn't. Fed them at his table, the whole 9 yards. He wasn't there for money. He wasn't there for the fame and the fortune. No, he wasn't there for that. He was there on assignment. And so he let them know he was there on assignment, period. So he got the outside taken care of, like, whatever, I don't care. Then he got the inside taken care of. The people that were closest were at him, and he got that taken care of. Now he's up against another foe, another focus. Just when you believe that you got it all under control, look, I got everybody vibing now. Everybody is vibing. I got my the people on the outside, they with me. I got the people over here, they with me. Okay, people in here, they with me, and so I'm good now. So now everything should be flowing smoothly. Well, no, not exactly, because just when he was getting ready to be done, more opposition, or what I like to say, distractions came. So let's get into this. All right. So Nehemiah Chapter 6, starting at verse 1. Now it came to pass when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem the Arabian and the rest of our enemies heard that I had builded the wall, and that there was no breach left therein, though at that time I had not set up the doors upon the gates. All right, so he's letting you know I haven't set up the doors upon the gates, but everything else was done. All right, but at the time that they came, they decided to come. This is what it was. Verse 2, that Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, Come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief. Now, we know that Nehemiah has been building. And as he's building, he knows that he has to keep his focus, because his whole purpose of coming out here, and he got this whole thing built in 52 days. 52 days. That's a little less than a month. And here we are, a month and a half, almost 2 months into the new year. Almost 2 months into the new year. And where are we? Where are we? He had a whole wall built around the whole Jerusalem in 52 days. Working efficiently and effectively, not being distracted by what was on the outside or what was on the inside. He continued to stay focused. So I don't care what you're talking about with the report of the doctors. I don't care what you're talking about that's in my mind telling me, oh, you'll never be able to finish this. Nobody's been able to do it before you, so why would you be able to do it? I don't care what's happening with the talk on the outside with the people that are saying, well, you know, you don't really have that look, or you don't really have what it takes to be the promoted. You don't have, it's a lot going on. All right. It's a lot going on. And so he has continued to stay focused. He has just stayed focused with everything that was coming up against him. And so now he has Geshem and he has Tobias, Sanballat, Tobias, and Geshem. So let me just read to you. Sanballat means a bramble bush, secret enemy, enemy in secret. All right, that's what that name means, Sanballat, because Sanballat and Geshem are the ones that sent for him and told him to come. All right, this come was for him to leave the will of God. All right, so the enemy came, secret enemy. All right, Sanballat. Geshem means rain, storm, disrupting progress. Rain or storm / disrupting progress is what Geshem means. So these two, the secret enemy and this disrupting process. Hello there, Pastor Michael. How you doing? Of Sanballat and Geshem. They came and it was supposed to disrupt what it is that he was doing. Come, get yourself off of the path. Come and get yourself out of the will of God. Yeah, things are going good, but they can only go good for so long. You might as well be out here with us. You might as well come out here. Now, he asked him to come to the plain of Ono. Ono was about 20 miles northwest of Jerusalem. The way to get to the plain of Ono was the most terrible path that you can be on. People have been killed on that path. They were hoping to set a plot to have people ambush him and kill him on the way. That's what they wanted to do. Kill him in the process. This is the plan of the enemy, to get you distracted. He's the secret enemy. So he'll send people that hold some kind of weight. All right. Because Sanballat and Geshem and Tobias, they held weight in the community, right? And so as they held weight in the community, to get asked to come to them would be like a great thing. It's like, oh man, you calling for me? But this is why you have to have discernment. You have to have discernment in this walk, because if you don't have discernment, you'll be thrown off your path and you'll be able to turn your head to everybody and everything that comes along the path. So I'm telling you something here. When you are on the path, everything is going to come as a distraction. The pains in your body, the diagnoses, all these things, the acting up of the children, the money being funny, everything is going to come, and it's going to be that distraction to try to get you to come to oh no. Oh no is the distraction. That's that oh no moment. Remember the oh no moment. Oh no is the distraction. You're finally past what you thought was the hard part. And you're like, yeah, I'm almost done now. See, you couldn't stop me. You couldn't stop me. But right when you thought you were done, right when you thought that you were almost finished, it's almost over, I don't have no other obstacles, I don't see anything, here comes the oh no moment. The distraction that comes, that's so appealing, that's so enticing. And so we have to find ourselves, because it's easy for us to say, well, I'm tired. I just really want to do this thing. I just want to do, and then when I finish this thing, then I'm gonna come back. Everybody don't make it back. Did you hear what I said? Everybody doesn't make it back from the distraction. Some people come back with scars that they can't even explain. Some people get in the process of being distracted and don't make it out. I'm here to tell you right now, don't get caught up in the oh no's. Don't get caught up in the plane of oh no, because oh no will take you out. Oh no will delay the process. Oh no will have you off the beaten path to what it is that God said for your life. So I need you to stay away from the oh no. Stay away from the distractions, because the distractions are coming so that you won't finish the race. It doesn't want you to finish the race. It doesn't want you to finish it on time. It doesn't want you to do what needs to be done. And you're saying, oh, well, if I don't finish on time, well, as long as I finish, somebody is dependent on you. So now God has to put somebody else in that spot to do that piece in that timing that you were supposed to do it in, because you were not in position. Somebody needs your voice. Somebody needs your presence. Somebody needs your ideas. Somebody is in need of you, and you are sitting here in the first quarter of the year doing nothing about it. Come on now. We can't stay here. We cannot stay in oh no. We cannot stay there. We can't even come down and do oh no. All right. We just cannot. And see, this is the thing. And I'm going to read to you one more thing, and we're going to come back to Nehemiah. Let me just read to you one more thing here, because I think it's important for us to understand that when we're talking about this race, all right, this race, this thing, if we can't keep up now with the distractions that are going on now and the stuff that's going on in the news, there's so much stuff that's going on right now. If we can't keep up now, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. So then it brings us to Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 5 and 6. It says, if you, and this is the CSB version, if you have raced with runners and they have worn you out, how can you compete with horses? I'm here to talk to those people that see other people doing what they want to do, and they be like, well, why they get to do it? And you get bitter on the inside because somebody else got promoted before you, or somebody else got it before you, or it looks like you're not getting it. I'm here to talk to those right now, because if you can't handle the season that you're in, if that thing making you tired, what's going to happen when he really release some stuff on you, when the enemy really comes up against you? What's going to happen then? If you cannot keep up with the footmen, the ones that are running on feet, how can you keep up with the horses? You want something that you're not prepared for. This is why we got to keep our focus, because if we lose our focus on looking at what somebody else is doing and how far they've come, we're going to lose our way. And as we lose our way, he says, how? He says, if you stumble in a peaceful land, what will you do in the thickets of the Jordan? If you cannot get it together when you're in a place of peace, when all hell break loose, you ain't going to be able to do this thing. You ain't going to be able to lift your head. You ain't going to be able to do nothing. So it's what we do in the peacetime that matters. What we do in the peacetime to prepare for the distractions is what matters. This is what I'm trying to get out here. It says, even your brothers, your own family, even they were treacherous to you. Even they have cried out loudly after you. Do not have confidence in them, though they speak well of you. He's letting them know that, look, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. There's a lot of stuff that happened with you, your family, and everybody else. But I need you to stay focused. I need you to stay focused. Don't listen to what's going on the outside. Don't listen to all those things that are happening to you right now. Because in the peacetime, if you can't handle the peaceful time, if you can't handle the little things bothering you, if you can't stay focused long enough for the little things to say no to those things that you do have control over, what you gonna do when the hell breaks loose and it's stuff that you can't control? Because there are a lot of things that are distractions that come up that we can't control. And we don't know how to control those things. We're not ready. So we gotta be able to set up these gates. So what does he tell them? He tells them, hold on, y'all. Hold on. This is why we need to stay focused. We go back to Nehemiah Chapter 6. And Nehemiah Chapter 6, starting at verse 3, it says, and I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease whilst I leave it and come down to you? See, this is the focus part. You've got to stay focused. Know your why. If you understand and know your why behind why you're doing what you're doing, then there's nothing that can take you down off of it, because it's so much bigger than you. You're thinking, well, I'm just working on this job. It's just this, or it's just that. It's just, oh, I'm just working for this, or I'm just working for them. Oh, I just do this. I just do that. There's nothing just about it. Wherever God has you, it's purpose behind it. There's something you are to do in that arena. There's something you are to do. Somebody's waiting on you to get in position. Somebody's waiting on you to come outside of yourself and help them. Yeah, you going through. Yeah, that's bad. What you going through is bad. But then God will give you that glimmer of somebody else that had it even worse. And you're just like, man, God, shoot. Okay, it could be worse. Well, yeah, it could be worse, but I'm here to tell you that when it comes to this, he says, I am doing a great work so that I cannot come down. Yeah, I know we don't want different places. We don't want to be in places where we feel like we're not wanted. We don't want to be in those places, but sometimes those places are necessary. They're not necessary for you, but you're going to get something out of it. But the person or the thing that you're there for, that your purpose to be there for, is going to get something even more, because they're going to get Christ, because you have to be in your position. Like, you'll stay in a place longer than you need to because you weren't focused enough to say, I'm going to live this life for God. And you know what? I ain't got to take this. I ain't got to take this. I ain't got to take that. And guess what? You'll miss the assignment that was supposed to happen in that place, because any little thing, any little distraction, you're already ready to let it go. And so we can't continue to do that either. But he says, I cannot come down. Why should the work cease whilst I leave and come down to you? Why? These are things that he could control. He couldn't control them coming and trying to distract them. But what he could control, he said no to. You have the authority to say no to some stuff and to some people and be okay with it. Continue to do the work that God has called you to. Don't sit here and let nobody get you off of what God has told you to do simply because it looks like it's brighter and shinier than what it is God has you doing. Your end result, your end purpose is so much bigger than what you could ever possibly imagine or know right now. Verse 4, yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort, and I answered them after the same manner. When you know why you're there beforehand, before you start the purpose, when you know why you started it. Because see, a lot of us start stuff and we don't ever finish. When you know why you starting something, you can finish it. When you understand the magnitude of the assignment that you're in, you can finish it. When you understand it won't come hell or high water, I got to finish. I cannot let anything distract me, because that's what the enemy wants. He wants me to be distracted, right? He wants me to be distracted. It said he came 4 times trying to lure him out to come to the plain of oh no. Distractions come over and over and over again. But what are we doing with it? What are we on assignment to do? What are we on assignment to do? I think that when we sit here and we don't get the fact that we're on assignment, we'll be lured off of our post. And when we're lured off of our post, what exactly do we get then? Delay. We get delay and we get denial. All right, we get delay and we get denial. Now I'm gonna go back because what's important in this is what the main point, and I'm gonna wrap this thing up, y'all. We already done. Gonna wrap this thing up. I had to lay some groundwork because there are distractions that come. The distractions come to throw us off. The distractions come to get us off the beaten path, right? So let's go back to Nehemiah 6, verse 1, because you have Sanballat, you had Tobiah, you had Geshem. And as they came and he was building the wall, he sat down here, and it's in parentheses in my Bible. And it says, though at the time I had not set up the doors upon the gates. He had not set up the doors upon the gates. Let me just, I'm going to read to you the importance of these doors. Hey there, First Lady McCullum, how you doing? So doors and gates, we have to stay focused. All right. So doors and gates originally, and this is in the Bible, originally referred to the gap or hole in the wall or fence. All right. The wall was done, but the distractions came when it was time to place the doors and the gates. Why are the doors and the gates so important? Why are the doors and the gates so important? Yeah, the doors and the gates are so important because that is what blocks out the stuff. See, the wall went up, but there were gaps and holes in the wall. So their protection, the walls went up. All right. The protection went up. The wall went up. So that was supposed to be the protection, right? Because there were still gaps. There were still gaps in the walls. Gaps in the wall, so people can still walk in and out and do whatever. In order for us to get focused and stay focused, what we have to do is put up the gates and the doors. Put up the gates and the doors. So doors, they were to prevent or allow or control the entry or exit of individuals to a room or house. All right. So doors are more personal because they're going to bring you into a place that's on the inside. They're going to bring you closer, but you have to have a defense because in order for somebody to get that close to disrupt you in your own house, in your room. All right. You got to have gates. And then the gates were for protection. They were very important. They guard large spaces. Open. They were open during the day and they were closed at night. The thing is that anytime there was a major ambush or anything, they would start with the cities whose gates were wide open. Because it's easy to get in when the gates are open. The gates guard. The gates keep out some stuff. And now when I'm talking about gates and doors, I'm talking about your mind here. Your mind and your heart, because that's where you start to lose your focus. When the gates of your mind and your heart are wide open. Yeah, gates and doors, gates and doors. Y'all got to understand this thing, gates and doors. We got gates and doors. Gates and doors. First thing, it's thought. So as a man thinketh, so is he. And then we get on down into it, all right? We get on down into it because when we start to think upon a thing, that thing sets up in our heart, and then now our members begin to do it. And we're like, wait a minute, where did that come from? Now you're speaking something. Now you're talking about stuff that you hadn't got no business talking about. You speaking things that you ain't got no business speaking. You're thinking, and then you begin to speak a thing. So gates and doors are needed. They're important for the process of you protecting and not being distracted. So when we're looking at this, we got gates and doors that are up all around us. Gates and doors all around us. Everywhere we look, we're going to see a door. There's a door, there's a door, there's a door, there's a gate to my backyard. There's a privacy fence. There's a gate to my backyard, but there's no gate to my front yard because there's no fence, right? But at the same time, My privacy is important, right? My privacy is important. And so in order for me to maintain my privacy, I got to keep that gate up. The gate has to be maintained. The gate is what fortifies my fence. I'm telling you, he had gotten to a place where the walls were up. He had been sitting here fighting within and without. He'd been fighting with people outside. He'd been fighting with people inside. The gates were up. And finally, here comes the place where you're just about done with the assignment. And so the heat gets turned up a little bit. But if you can't take it, running with the footmen, how can you run with the horsemen? If you can't take the peacetime, if you can't take the minimal distractions of somebody just asking you to do something and you telling them no, if you can't take that part, how can you be ready for when things go haywire? You got to have your doors and your gates. You got to have your doors and your gates. If you without doors and your gates, you will fail the mission. Put up the doors and the gates. That's going to keep down the distractions when you put up the doors and the gates. It's a deterrent. You know, on some people's fences, they got beware of dog, surveillance, camera surveillance here. It's always something on a gate to let you know what you want on the inside. You don't want it. But you have to put up those gates so people know not to test you. You have to put up those gates that people and the enemy will know it's not worth it this time. I'm going to stand down because it's not worth it for me to try to breach those gates. All right? Yes, keeping the peace in the midst. Yes, a closed gate. And that may mean keeping your mouth shut, not answering the phone. Don't answer the door. Keep your gate shut. Gates were sacred. When you open a gate, gates were even personalized. So who was ever on the gate? Gates are always manned. Always manned. You don't have a gate that's not manned back then. Gates were manned because any and everybody couldn't just walk through the gates. Gates is where they did business at. You couldn't come on the inside. They did the business at the gate. If you got business to do it at the gate. You want to talk to me? We're going to talk from right here. What you want? No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm on a mission. I can't. No, I can't. I can't do that with you. There are going to be people and there are going to be things that look real good. They shining and they look real good, but it ain't for you because you're on a mission. And if you don't keep your gates and your doors up, you're going to miss the assignment. You're going to miss the mission. All right, you're going to miss it because gates and doors are important. That's it. Guard your focus. Come on, Cody. That's it. Guard your focus. I need us to understand that if we don't guard our focus, some people will say some things, get you off your beaten path. And when they get you off your beaten path, now you want to blame God and everybody else around you, but it was you. If you cannot man your stuff during the times of peace, the time of peace or the time when you're not in direct turmoil is the time when you should be gathering and preparing. And how do you gather and prepare? You begin to get in that word. You begin to pray because the gates and the doors of your mind and your heart are wide open, if not. But you begin to close them. You begin to get the discernment that's needed. Without that discernment, you will not be able to go further. You won't be able to do what God is calling you to do. And so as we look at this, we look at Psalms chapter 24, because in this Psalms chapter 24, and we're going to be starting at verse 7. Verse 7. And as we start with this, like I said, gates were personalized. Whoever was manning the gates, that was your gate. You were that gate. You personified that gate. You are your gate today. All right? You have to know who's coming in. You have to know who's coming in and who's going out, because the gate is your first line of protection. So let's keep it that first line of protection. So it's the way I think about a thing. It's the way that I focus on a thing. I have to maintain my focus. As Cootie said, guard my focus. I have to. It's time for me to take time out to say, you know what? There's some things that I'm supposed to do in this earth. I'm so busy doing everything everybody else, being everything for everybody else. I'm steadily building everybody else's fortune, and I ain't built mine. I'm steadily raising everybody else's children. I ain't raised mine. I'm steadily doing so much for everybody else, but I can't get my own stuff together. That's it. You got to have tunnel vision. You have to. Because I'm telling you now, we're not going to make it, saints. We're not going to make it if we continue to be distracted by what the world is saying, if we continue to be distracted by what our bodies are saying, if we continue to be distracted by everything that's going on around us. We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. We're not. We have to turn our focus to God. We have to turn our focus to Jesus Christ, because he is the ultimate one that comes in, and the Bible says that when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord does what? Lifts up a standard against him. That means when he comes in, the enemy comes in and he tries to disrupt what it is that God has put for you. When you got God on the inside of you, he begins to lift up this standard. What does the standard look like? The standards get you to remember you're on a mission, Angela. You don't have time for that. You're on a mission, Pastor Michael. You don't have time for that. You're on a mission. You don't have time for that right now. I need you to stay focused on what I gave you to do. Then when we stay focused and keep our gates and our doors closed, we can look to God and he'll be everything we need. The only time you need to open your gate is for him. And right today, we're opening our gates to him, because verse 7 of Psalms 24 says, lift up your heads, you gates. This is when the Ark of the Covenant was coming into Jerusalem, and David was so happy he danced out his clothes. But as he had lived, yes, we must not abort our mission. Come on, Kim. We can't abort our mission, rather it was purposeful or accidental. We can't abort our mission. We can't. And now that you know that you're on mission, get back to it. Get back to it. Whatever got you delayed or got you thrown off, get back on. Get back on now, because the footmen done wore you out. The footmen done wore you out. And you looking at the horses, talking about contending with some horses. Baby, you ain't mastered the footwork yet. And you want to get on a horse and ride? You looking at the lap of luxury somebody else living in, but you ain't mastered the slum where you at. We try to jump ahead of ourselves. We try to get the luxury things, and we don't count the cost. I tell my kids all the time, look here now, you need to count the cost of some things. You want to trade in a car? Trade in a car for what? Payments that you can't make right now. Don't be trading in no car for no payments when you can just pay what you got. Work on what you got. I know it looks tempting to go out here and get the best of the best that everybody else got. I know that it looks tempting to go out here and call yourself something that you don't walk in. I know it's tempting, but you got to hold what you got. Run with these footmen for a minute. Wear them out and don't let them wear you out. Because when it's all said and done, that one that jumped ahead, the one that looked like they getting so much further, the one that looks like they got so much more than you, stay the course. And what God does for you will outshine any and everything that they got. I tell them, I said, you know what, y'all look at y'all friends out here doing all these good things. They having such great exploits. Oh my God, look, that one getting married. They'll be divorced in a year. You don't see, that's the part that you don't see. That's the part that you don't see. There's so much stuff going on where my friend is so and so and so and so, and now they done been promoted in the kingdom of God. And here I am, I'm still sitting here doing the same old, and I'm tired of doing the same old. Do the same until you wear out the footmen. So when you get ready to get on that horse and you finna outrun the horse, that's it, Kim. We can't covet. We can't covet, but we need to work out what we got going on right here. And it means shutting the gates, staying focused, because the gates are the front line of defense. That's what guards us. By the time they get to the door, we done messed up. We done let them get to the door. That means we didn't have our guard up. And in order to keep it up, we got to invite the one who matters in. We have to invite him in, because he said that if he be lifted up, he draw all men unto him, right? And so if he's drawing, using us by lifting him up, We just have to be in place. That's it. We just have to be in place. So let me read this psalm and we're done. So this Psalm 24, they were taking the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem, and they were so happy. David's so happy. He done danced out his clothes, right? I just told y'all that. He done danced out his clothes, and they're getting ready to hit Jerusalem. As they get ready to hit Jerusalem, of course, the walls and the gates are up. So they're yelling out. They're yelling out to the gatekeepers, lift up your heads. You can't see? Let me tell y'all something. When you're on a path doing what God has told you to do, you are that gate. When something comes up against you and they say, open the gates, you can tell them no. Now they coming with the Ark of the Covenant and they ain't opening the gates for just anybody. He says, lift up your heads, you gates. He's telling them, look, I need you to look what's coming. Lift up your heads. I need you to see what's coming. Rise up, ancient doors. Then the King of Glory will come in. I need you to get your mind right, get your heart right to let the King of Glory come in, because Jesus Christ needs to take his rightful place in your heart. He needs to take his rightful place in the forefront of your mind. It's not the job. It's not my health. It's not my children. It's not my family. It's not what's going on around me that matters, but it's God. If I could just put him in the forefront, lift up your head, O ye gates. I'm trying to tell y'all, because you become your own gatekeeper. You are your own gatekeeper. You so busy letting everything in that when Jesus came, you couldn't recognize him. He came and they asked a question. Who is this King of Glory? That's the gatekeepers yelling to them as they were coming in. Who is this King of Glory? Yes, that's it, Mom. We got to let the King of Glory come in. We so busy keeping our gate up for the wrong people and the wrong stuff. We can't see when the King of Glory is trying to do his best work because we distracted for something over here and something over there. Squirrel. We distracted. And so the gatekeepers are yelling, who is this King of Glory? The Lord, strong and mighty. The Lord, mighty in battle. That's what they're projecting back to him from the ground. They're projecting back to the gatekeeper. Look, this is who he is. This is who he is, the Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. I need you to know that he'll fight every last single battle. There's nothing that you can give to him that he is not going to fight. There's nothing that you can give to him today, tomorrow, or any other day that he's not going to take and make it for your good. But I need your focus to be on him. I need you to recognize when he's trying to come in. Recognize when he's trying to say something, because we get so caught up in everything else. But what it is he's saying, we lose sight. Verse 9 says, lift up your heads, ye gates. Still didn't get it. We getting here. We close. He's right here. We still don't get it. Rise up, ancient doors. Rise up. Okay. When they talk about rise up, ancient doors, okay, look, we talking about things that are old, past things. I need you to understand those past things don't dictate what is coming. Jesus Christ is trying to come and inhabit you. He's not here trying to force anything on you but grace, peace, mercy, and love. And what we do is we remember back when I let so-and-so in. I remember back when so-and-so, my mama them said, and my daddy them said, and we so busy thinking about the old things, our doors. The ancient doors, the doors that got us distracted in the first place. That's it, Kim. No sorrow in heaven. Oh, God. Hallelujah. We so distracted with the ancient things, the old ways, that we can't let God in. We so distracted on what it looks like. We can't see him when he comes. It says, rise up, ancient doors. Then the King of Glory will come in. Rise up, ancient doors. All right, Arnaz. Yeah, look, I'm telling y'all, we got to get rid of the old ways, the old way of thinking, the old way of losing our focus and being distracted by any and everything. And then we put up these walls and didn't properly put up the gates. And so now we got a gate for everybody and everything, and we don't know when to use it and when not to use it because we have no discernment. And so the King of Glory is knocking right now. He's knocking, he's coming. And it says here, then the King of Glory will come in. When you get rid of the old way of thinking, that I'm distracted. I got to be over here. I got to be over there. I got to do this and I got to do that. Only what you do for God will last. Because when it's judgment day, he's not going to ask you what you did on the job. He's not going to be asking you what you did for your kids and all that. He's not going to ask you any of that. What did you do for him? The things that you do for your children, the things that you do for your family, the things that you do for the job, the things that you do for yourself, all those things are good things. And God will lead you in those directions, because guess what? When we put him first, he'll get everything that we need. He'll handle all of our business. So he'll put us in the path that's going to hit all of those things. If we stay on his path, it's going to hit all those things. We have to trust the process that he's going to hit all of those things. If we stay focused, he's going to hit all those things. And so it says here, who is he? The King of Glory, the Lord of armies. He is the King of Glory. He's the King of armies. He fights for us. He fights for us. When I tell y'all, Jesus Christ is the best thing that ever happened to me. And I know, some people say, oh, me having my first child or buying my first house is the best thing that ever happened to me. Jesus Christ is the best thing that ever happened to me. If I don't make my first million, which I will, if I don't ever, he's still the best thing that ever happened to me. When I hit it, the million, he's still the best thing that ever happened to me. When I go over it, he's still the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm trying to tell y'all something right here, because the distractions are going to come. If you can't handle those little distractions, you're not going to be able to do what it is that he's calling you to do. Stay focused, keep your gates up, and be manning the gates yourself. Don't leave it up to what you think that it should look like. Don't leave it up to what you feel like somebody else might do or somebody else might have said or done. Get rid of those ancient doors. We need the gates to be protected at all times. And the gates being protected at all times means we cannot be off our gate. We have to stay focused. It's time for us to focus. Like I said, the first quarter of this year is almost up. Oh, yeah, I know. Yes, you are, Mom, because if I got it, you got it. Come on now. Yes, that's it. The best thing that ever happened, if we keep that focus, because we can say the best thing that ever happened to us, I got this job. Best thing that ever happened is I got this job. Best thing that ever happened, I ran into so-and-so. Best thing that ever happened. The best thing that ever happened to us was Jesus Christ. He died so we didn't have to. He made it to where we are living a life that's free to choose whatever we want to choose. Free to do whatever we want to do. Why? Because his love for us. And all we got to do is stay focused. Stay focused. It's time to focus on the gates. It is time to focus on the gates. Y'all, stay focused on the gates. If we get our gates up, if we keep our gates up, the distractions don't have to come and tear us down. Distractions don't have to come and get us out of what it is that God says that we should be doing. But the distractions are going to come. And when they come, we're going to be like, you know what? No. You're going to see them and you're going to say no, because you're manning your gates. And we don't need them to get to the door. Because if they get to the door, that means we've messed up somewhere. We've messed up. Now they're standing here looking us face to face at the door. The door is personal. The door is personal. We can't let it get personal. We can't. That's the ultimate distraction, when it becomes personal. These attacks that are coming, the things that are coming, stay the process. Stay the process. Stay the process, because it doesn't look like it. I'm telling you, there are testimonies on this line right now. There are testimonies where it didn't look like what you thought it was going to look like. Things that are happening, and you're just like, it don't make sense, God. It doesn't make sense. And he says, look, I need you to know that I'm still God. And if you believe that I'll take care of you, yeah, it doesn't look like what you think it should look like, but it's perfect. Just man the gates. Man the gates. When you see me coming, don't ask no questions. When you see me coming, open up and let him in. Open up and let him take control of what's on the inside, because we have been thrown off for too long. The gates need to be manned, and we need to just have a firm no ministry. Do you hear me? A firm no ministry. And stay focused on what God has given you to do. When we start to focus on any and everything else and what somebody else is doing, we get distracted and we won't do anything. We will be stagnant and we will stay there for years and years, decades even, because we got distracted by looking at what somebody else was doing, or we got distracted in just being caught up with the everyday mundane life of running this race. And if we're running this race and we say we're running it for Christ, we're not going to be able to keep up with the horsemen if we didn't keep up with the footmen. We can't run this race and get distracted any longer. Man your gates. That's all I'm saying today. Man your gates. It's time. We're almost at the end of the first quarter of this year. What have you done? Where did the distraction come from? You said you were going to lose weight. You said you were going to go to church more. You said you were going to read your word more. You said, there were some things that you said you were going to do this year. And what happened? We only in the second month. Where are you? What was your distraction? Whatever it was, it doesn't even matter no more. It's time for you to come on back in the saddle. Come on back in. The footmen have wore you out, but guess what? It's not over yet. You still got breath in your body. The footmen have wore you out because you done sat to the side and you said, well, I ain't going to be able to do it. No, you can do it. You can do it. You got this thing. You got it. You're focused. You building, go on and put up them gates. It's time to put up the gates. This life is about you and how you live this life. All right. It's about you being in position for God to use you to do whatever it is he set forth for you to do in this world. And regardless of what you're set forth to do in this world, one of the main things that you need to do is be able to tell somebody else about him. Are we doing at least that part? When we see people who don't know, are we telling anybody? If you don't even know what your purpose is, get in the word. Stay that path. And everything else is going to start to wind up, and you're just going to be like, oh, wow, God, you're calling me to that. Oh, man, you're calling me to this. Oh, man. And then you're going to be like, dang it. Dang it. That's it. We got to fight hard. We got to, for Jesus. He did it for us. We've got to do it for him, because there are things that we can control right here in this earth. So put the gates up. Let's stay focused. All right. First quarter is almost over. If we drop the ball, let's pick it back up now. Let's pick it up and do what we need to do for Jesus. If we don't do it for no other reason, let's do it for Jesus. All right. We can pick something in the world to do it. I know when I joined the military, I said, I'm doing this for my baby, because my baby deserves the best. She deserves to hear me say no because I don't want to, not no because I can't. I had a purpose. So when I was in basic training and things started to get hard for me, and I'm not used to, like I told you, I was a sprinter. I'm not used to running long distances. So when those long distances came up and I wanted to quit, I would rub my chest, because right at my chest was this wallet, this clear wallet that you kept your ID in, and you just flick it out whenever something happened. You flick your ID out, and it was just a clear wallet. And I keep a picture of her on the backside of the ID. And whenever I wanted to stop, I would do this, because that was my purpose. Before I knew Jesus the way that I do now, she was my purpose. She was my reason to keep going. I would rub my chest, because that's where that wallet was with her picture in it. And I said, it's bigger than me. I got to keep going. Can't breathe. I got to keep going. Yeah, I want to quit, but I can't, because it's bigger than me. I got to keep going. And I need y'all to have that same mentality. It's bigger than you. You got to keep going. Put the gates up and stay focused. The bigger picture is so much better than you could ever possibly believe. It doesn't look like what you think it should look like, but it's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be so beautiful, and it's going to blow your mind the way that God does it. The way that God finishes a thing is going to blow your mind. It is. You got to have that focus. My focus in the world was my baby. I got to keep going. I need y'all to have him in the focus. If you need something in this world to focus on that and say, I can't stop until this is done because this. Y'all, rub your chest sometime. Remember your focus. Remember why you did a thing. Remember why you started in the first place. Because if you stop in the midst of it, it's hard to get back going again. You got to remember the why. Keep it in the forefront. And that's why you need gates. That's why you need gates. Yeah. The things we do for our Exactly, Stephanie. He wants to do those same things for us, but we got to put him in his place. His place is right in here. If we put him here, there can't nobody stop us once we put him in there. Y'all, I'm finna go. I'm gonna get out of here. But y'all, thank y'all for coming out. This has been Remnant Mentality Ministries. I pray something was said that you can use that's going to encourage you to just keep on, and not even just keep on, but restart it. Restart it again. Start it again. Keep going or start it again. It's only when we give up and do absolutely nothing the enemy has won. No such thing as failing when you're trying. At least you're doing it. It's when you don't try at all, then you failed. All right. So keep that in mind. Keep that in focus. And y'all, we're going to get on up out of here. Remember, we're here each and every last single day of the week. If you didn't know, there is a video every day uploaded, all right? And it is here to equip, empower, educate, and just encourage the saints of God, all right? We just want to be able to encourage you to go a little bit further, to go a little bit longer, because that's what this boils down to, all right? So Remnant Mentality, I'm sure you're going to find somebody here every day of the week. Somebody, all right, is here giving you a word, all right? And they are doing a phenomenal job. And they'll tell you the day that they come on and the time that they come on, so you can have that consistency in your life. I'm here between 2:30 and 3 every Sunday, Central Standard Time, all right? Central Standard Time between 2:30 and 3 p.m. I'm here. And like I said, my name is Pastor Angela Hendricks. I am the senior leader here at Remnant Mentality Ministries, and I thank you all for coming out. You all have a blessed and wonderful day. Till next time. Bye.